Hey everyone, Ken Lewis at Home Life Benchmark Titus Realty, and it's time for your December 2023 Fraser Valley Real Estate Market Update. As we head into the dead of winter here, sales are not picking up any more than they have for the beginning of fall and the rest of the winter so far. 2023 has been quite a slow year, especially in the second half of the year since we've had the rate interest hikes again. And we haven't seen that activity really pick up, which generally is expected to see in the winter months to see things be quite a bit slower. With just under 800 sales for the month of November 2023, we did see a slowdown of about 9% compared to the month prior. However, we did see 7% more sales than we saw in the very, very slow November 2022 just a year ago. We also were 37% below the 10-year average for total number of sales, which is quite low as well, considering that it's already a pretty slow month to begin with across the board. New listings were actually up compared to the 10-year average. We're actually 7% higher than the 10-year average. However, we were 20% fewer than we saw in October 2023, which again is very typical to see November have much fewer new listings than in October. So no real surprises there. And we were 16% more new listings this year than we were November 2022 just a year ago, which again was a very, very slow year. Now, one thing I wanted to dive into a little bit more this month that I haven't touched on, or I barely touched on last month, is how the 10-year averages can be somewhat of a misleading number. Really, we should see our total sales be consistently rising year to year in order to maintain the sort of status quo, the average number of sales. Same thing with new listings, because our numbers don't account for new homes that have been built over the last 10 years, of which there's been quite a few thousand new homes being added, as well as population growth. If we're adding population to our market and we're adding homes in order to keep the same percentage of homes turning over per year, we should see that total sales number and the total active listings number be higher than it has been in previous years. We're really not seeing that across the board the whole way. It's kind of up and down, of course, because any real graph is going to be up and down. But to compare to 10-year averages, we just have to keep these things in mind that, yes, it seems like we're setting records every month and this and that, but are we really? Because of, again, the adjusted difference in population and total number of homes. As far as the total number of, or the ratio of homes sold versus listed, we have our sales to active listing ratio, which is basically how many homes sell out of every 100 homes listed in that month. If we look across all property types for the month of November, we had 16 out of every 100 homes sell, which the Fraser Valley real estate market would consider to be a balanced market, as anything between 12 and 20 is balanced. Above 20 puts us into seller's market territory, and below 12 puts us into buyer's market territory. Now, if we step back and we look at each property type individually, or we break things into attached and detached, single family homes, detached homes are actually selling as a buyer's market technically, with just 11 out of every 100 listed actually selling in the given month. And if we take that to the other side of things with condos and townhouses, we're seeing about 22% of those sell every month. So those are technically a seller's market. Now, are we really in a seller's market? Are we really in a buyer's market? It doesn't really feel like it either way. Typically in a buyer's market, sellers are going to be flogging the product off and there's going to be an influx of new listings. We're going to have so many listings to choose from that if anybody wants to sell, they have to discount the price. We're just not seeing that across the board. Yes, prices are coming down, but they're coming down quite slowly. And in my opinion, it looks like they're starting to level out. Now, on the other side, attached homes are definitely not in a seller's market right now. Maybe some certain townhomes are selling extremely quickly once they've been listed. As I've touched on many times before, townhomes tend to be the most desirable type of home in our current market, as we have a huge group of people upsizing from their first condos into townhouses, as well as a massive amount of our population who has decided to downsize lately, and they're selling their single family homes and moving into townhomes. So we have two groups moving into one type of unit. And in that one type of unit, we honestly don't have a very large portion of our transactions happening in townhouses. It's our most popular, but it's also our lowest total inventory and new listings, everything. So again, laws of supply and demand mean that townhomes tend to hold their price a little bit better currently in today's market. As I've said every single month, when the best time to make a move happen is when it makes sense for you, not when it makes sense for the market, not trying to time interest rates, not trying to time everything. Yeah, we do want to keep that stuff into mind, but trying to play the game to time everything, especially for your family home, can put a lot of stress on you. And you're just going to be constantly waiting, trying to save to catch up to the market. The best time is when it makes sense to do it. And if that makes sense for you to do it now, we'll sit down and we'll talk and we'll go over things. And if we decide that it doesn't make sense to do it now and you are better to wait, we're definitely going to have that conversation and figure some things out. As we know, the high interest rates have been pushing prices down a little bit, and that's the purchase price. We touched on many months before. Affordability really hasn't changed. Monthly payments are staying around the same as the interest rates go up and prices come down. So we know that the affordability of a home hasn't really changed much from today to March, all the way back to the peak in March 2022. However, what we do know is that the purchase price is down. So if you're able to get into that home today and you're able to pay the higher interest payments until interest rates do come down, which could it be 6 months from now? Could it be 2 or 3 years from now? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Most economists tend to think it's going to be within the next year, and hopefully that is the case. But again, I'm not here with a crystal ball to look at that. Just to look at what's going to happen once the rates do come down, we can pretty safely say that we're likely to see prices go back up pretty quickly. So if you're able to get in sooner with the higher interest rates, the lower prices, there is opportunity to build a pretty potentially big, good chunk of equity as the value of your home increases while interest rates come down. And if you're thinking about selling, but you really don't have anything that you're going to be buying with the proceeds of the sale, you're not upsizing, you're not downsizing, you're just looking to get rid of an investment property or something. My advice would be to stick it out and again wait for those interest rates to come back down as your purchase or the sale price will go up, which means more cash in your pocket. Now, we don't know how long that's going to take, as we just said. So there is a little bit of a gamble involved in that if you are being quite stretched with your new larger payments that a lot of investors are seeing. So if that's the case, then yeah, sell it sooner and take on that way. You don't wait 6 months, which could be the longest you wait, and then find out that the rates don't change in that time. And instead you just spent the money. However, if you can wait it out and you can afford to pay these rates for another year or two, you're very much likely to see more reward by holding off in that time to sell your home once the rates have come down and the prices have gone back up. As always, I want to hear what your plans are as far as your next move. It's never too early to start planning. So give me a call today, 604-218-5635. Leave me a message below, comment, send me a text, however you want to reach out. Let me know what your plans are for 2024 and making a move happen. And I'm more than happy to help at any stage of the game. Thanks for tuning in.